Is Robyn Brown pregnant? Robyn Brown from Sister Wives was spotted out. If you are live on my TikTok, you are seeing.
It began with nothing more than a selfie. Just a fleeting moment captured beneath the golden glow of a Flagstaff beer festival, one of those snapshots that should have slipped quietly into the blur of a summer night. But then there was the hand resting almost too neatly on Robyn Brown's stomach. It transformed an ordinary picture into something else entirely, a spark that lit up the rumor mill. Within hours, the photo was everywhere. Reddit threads multiplied, Facebook groups erupted. Instagram accounts zoomed in on every detail, the angle, the gesture, the intention. Fans dissected it like it was a frame from the Zapruder film, desperate to decide if they were staring at the first clue of baby number 6. And while the internet ran wild, whispers said Kody Brown was anything but composed when the speculation reached him. Suddenly, what should have been just another night out had spiraled into the biggest Sister Wives rumor of the summer. Was Robyn trying to drop a secret message? Was it staged for attention? Or was it nothing more than the awkward hand of a stranger caught in the wrong place at the wrong time? The woman in the bright pink top, quickly identified as Amanda, remained silent, and her silence only made the noise louder.
If you are live on my TikTok, you are seeing the photo. Robyn Brown was spotted out with, I think, basically a fan of the show who.
But sometimes a hand says more than 1,000 words. That subtle belly cradle, whether deliberate or completely unconscious, landed like a proclamation. In the world of reality TV, and especially inside the Sister Wives universe, optics have a power all their own. One frozen frame, one lingering touch, can spark speculation that burns for weeks. And Robyn's face in that photo? It didn't help. Not a big smile, not a carefree laugh, instead a calm, almost knowing expression. Fans zoomed in, screenshotted, circled, and shared. By dawn, captions screaming, "Is Robyn pregnant again?" were plastered across fan pages everywhere. The post that started it all had become the epicenter of the frenzy. The irony? That very carousel of images held its own denial. 3 out of 4 pictures had nothing to do with the Browns, just festival snapshots. Cheerful and ordinary. And the original poster even wrote in plain words, Robyn was not pregnant. But denials rarely win against rumors. Scandal has a way of drowning out clarity. The belly hand placement was all anyone wanted to see, and so the debate only grew louder. Some fans swore it was baseless, others doubled down, spinning theories of a calculated leak, a crafted PR stunt, maybe even a setup for the next season's storyline. Because at the heart of the speculation was a truth no one could ignore. If Robyn were carrying a 6th child, it wouldn't just be a baby announcement. It would be a shockwave through the Brown family, reshaping storylines, finances, and fragile dynamics already hanging by a thread.
Out with, I think, basically a fan of the show who is putting her hand on Robyn's belly, and Robyn looks like she got a pregnancy belly. She looked like she got a belly going on like mine.
Fans have watched Kody Brown spiral over far smaller rumors, so it wasn't hard to imagine his reaction when whispers of a baby number 6 started swirling. Sources say he went nuclear behind closed doors, enraged that a stranger's hand, just one careless pose, had given the internet the power to rewrite his family's story. And yet, that fury only fanned the flames, because if it truly meant nothing, why the outburst? Why the silence from Robyn instead of a lighthearted laugh on camera? That hand may have been innocent, but the fallout was anything but. Freeze the frame, zoom in. And suddenly it's less a picture than a Rorschach test for reality TV fans. Some swore it was harmless, a woman in a pink top, her hand landing on the nearest surface without a second thought. Others argued it was deliberate, the oldest trick in the book, the belly cradle. A silent announcement used in countless Instagram reveals. The rest? They lingered somewhere in the middle, tilting their heads at their screens like detectives, asking themselves the same question. Why? There. Why like that? And in the world of Sister Wives, where suspicion runs deeper than trust, even an innocent gesture can snowball into a full-blown narrative. Insiders insist the original poster spelled it out clearly: Robyn was not pregnant. But captions rarely matter when the image tells its own story. And this wasn't a casual arm draped over shoulders, or a friendly hand pressed to a back, or a clink of beer cups beneath festival lights. This was different. This was a hand placed squarely across Robyn's midsection, the very place where, if someone wanted to stage a reveal, the message would live.
Is reportedly pregnant. This woman, Amanda Rose, took a photo with her, and then Reddit fans of Sister Wives tracked down Amanda Rose to find out if in fact Robyn is pregnant, because Amanda's hand is on Robyn's belly in the picture.
That single still image accomplished what no glossy TLC promo ever could. It lit up like wildfire. Overnight, threads sprouted everywhere, debating timelines, questioning whether Kody and Robyn could really welcome another child at this stage. And zooming in on Robyn's expression pixel by pixel, was that the faintest smirk? Or just the awkward pause of a blink? The ambiguity made it irresistible. With no facts to anchor the chatter, imagination took over. And Cody, fans dragged him right into the storm. Some cracked jokes that he'd be the last to find out if Robyn were pregnant. Others were sure he was masterminding some sympathy play. One phrase bubbled up across fan pages: "I don't even know her." It was supposed to underscore the absurdity of a stranger's hand sparking such frenzy, but instead it rang defensive. Even desperate, because if the Browns didn't really know this woman, why was she close enough to pose like that? And if she truly was a stranger, why didn't Robyn brush the hand away? Every unanswered why didn't they only added oxygen to the flames. This is the trap of being famous by proximity. Cody and Robyn want control. They want to dictate the narrative, to choreograph each storyline, but then one candid slip, one unplanned selfie, drowns everything else. Insiders whispered that Cody's fury wasn't really about the pregnancy rumor, it was about optics. About the fact that for once, he wasn't driving the storyline, the audience was. And he was stuck reacting. What unsettled him most wasn't the gossip itself, but what the gossip implied. Another baby at this stage meant chaos, money stretched thin, custody schedules shattered, and an image of Cody and Robyn as reckless, or worse, manipulative if the rumor wasn't true. Letting it grow unchecked was the worst possible look, yet instead of shutting it down, the Browns stayed silent. That silence became its own message, one that only stoked more questions. Because in reality TV, the belly cradle move is loaded. It's shorthand for something's coming. Instagram influencers and celebrities have trained audiences to read that gesture as a pregnancy announcement. Doesn't matter if it's a laugh caught mid-frame or a hand just resting casually. The optics scream baby, and in sister wives, family size, fertility struggles, and the emotions wrapped around each child are the franchise's lifeblood. So when Amanda's hand landed on Robyn's stomach, it wasn't just a casual pose. It was a spark in a room already soaked in gasoline. Insiders say nothing rattles Cody more than losing control of a storyline. But this rumor slipped away before he could even grasp it. Within hours, the question wasn't just, is Robyn pregnant? It morphed into, what are they hiding? Because when fans sense secrecy, they create whole narratives to fill the silence. Even the denial written clearly in the original caption didn't stand a chance for many. If Robyn wasn't expecting, she would have waved it off with humor. A wink, a cheeky smile. Instead, her silence read like confirmation, and for Cody, that silence cut deeper than the rumor. Because the belly cradle wasn't only about babies, it was about optics. About who controls the story he's built his entire persona on being the narrator, the authority, the man with the plan. But in this case, he wasn't telling the story. A stranger's hand was, and once that image burned itself into fans' minds, no caption, no denial, no damage control mattered. The insult stung sharper when the "I don't even know her" line made the rounds. If true, it painted him as clueless, blindsided by a stranger's gesture. If false, it made him look defensive, scrambling to contain something already out of his grip. Either way, the optics fed the fire. Fans laughed, memed, and twisted the photo until it became bigger than the rumor itself. The conversation shifted from "is Robyn expecting?" to "why do the Browns attract chaos wherever they go?" And for viewers who've long suspected favoritism and manipulation, that one belly cradle shot became proof. Proof that Cody and Robyn don't just live with drama, they are the drama even in the moments they try hardest to appear calm. But this is where things got even messier. The timeline itself didn't line up with what a real baby number 6 reveal would demand. And when fans began pulling receipts and counting the years, the theory didn't collapse, it splintered into something far thornier. Instead of killing the rumor, it opened the door to fresh questions about what else the Browns might be keeping under wraps. When the timeline was laid bare, the cracks widened. Robyn's youngest, Ariella, was born back in 2016. Nearly a decade has passed since the Browns last brought a baby into the world. And in that decade, the family has fallen apart. Christine walked away, Janelle followed, Mary finally stepped back. Today, Cody stands publicly with only Robyn. Against that backdrop, the idea of introducing a 6th child wasn't just unlikely, it was earth-shattering. Even production insiders whispered would hesitate to hinge a new season on something so drastic, while the couple's financial and emotional lives sit in turmoil. Still, fans refused to let go. They spun vivid hypotheticals across forums and comment sections. Would Cody brandish a new baby as proof that his relationship with Robyn was stronger than ever? Would it serve as a cruel twist of fate, a dig at the wives who endured fertility struggles and years of neglect? Could Robyn even want another child at this point? Knowing the flood of backlash that shadows her every move, speculation took root. Some dismissed it as absurd. Others clung to the idea that this was the Browns' trump card, a ratings ploy waiting to be played. What stung most for Kody, according to whispers, was that the rumor thrived not despite their silence, but because of it. Each day without a response convinced more fans that something was being hidden. Yet the facts were immovable. Another baby would mean more financial strain at a moment when Kody is already buried under unpaid property taxes, legal headaches, and the scattered remnants of multiple households. One more dependent would shine a harsh light on the very truth. Kody has fought to disguise on camera that his empire is buckling under the weight of money woes and broken loyalties. And still, none of it mattered. Logic bowed to optics. That one belly cradle gesture overpowered every practical argument. Fans latched onto it like gospel because in pop culture, a hand resting on a stomach is more than a gesture. It's the universal shorthand, and once that symbol is spotted, no caption, no denial, no quiet correction can erase it. In this way, Sister Wives fans act like a jury. They don't just look at one piece of evidence, they weigh it against years of history. And history here is heavy. Robyn has long been painted as the favorite, the one who receives while the others are left scrambling. So while a new baby may not make practical sense, it made emotional sense to those who already believe Robyn always gets what she wants. For Kody, the sting cut deeper than rumor. His rage, insiders said, was never only about the speculation itself, but about what it signified. That yet again, the story wasn't his to tell. Fans had seized the pen, and they were writing his next chapter for him. And just when the buzz seemed ready to fade, the conversation pivoted. Suddenly it wasn't about pregnancy at all, it was about the hand itself, the awkwardness of the gesture, the boundary crossing, the glaring question of why Robyn hadn't brushed it off. That shift kept the fire burning, dragging the Browns into yet another storm they couldn't outrun. That's when the backlash split the fandom into two loud, furious camps. One side called the gesture invasive, even offensive. Commenters admitted that if someone, especially a relative stranger, ever placed a hand on their stomach, pregnant or not, they'd move it instantly. To them, this wasn't just odd optics, it was insensitive. Many women in the Sister Wives audience have endured their own fertility battles, and they said watching a stomach touched so casually with no context felt like salt in the wound. Some even called it tone deaf, a gesture that disregarded how triggering such an image could be for viewers who've lived through loss. Meanwhile, the other camp saw it differently. To them, the pose was nothing more than a blatant grab for attention. And this is where the theories took flight. Some fans swore Amanda, the woman in pink, knew exactly what she was doing, that she placed her hand there with full intention, leaning into the belly cradle because she knew it would send the internet spinning. The fact that the photo was tucked inside a carousel of four only sharpened suspicions. 3 were harmless festival snaps, but just one was the shot everyone obsessed over. Whispers spread that maybe, just maybe, the Browns themselves allowed it to slide. After all, what better way to dominate headlines than with contradiction? A photo that screamed pregnancy paired with a caption that flatly denied it. That's the kind of mixed signal Sister Wives fans eat alive. Then came the wildcard voices. Some insisted it was all a trick of perspective, that Amanda's hand wasn't on Robyn's stomach at all, but resting against a fence post or some piece of staging. For a few hours, the theory held weight, offering the one logical escape hatch. But when clearer, high-resolution shots surfaced, that defense collapsed. The truth was undeniable. No railing, no post, just Amanda's hand, resting right on Robyn's midsection, flesh on fabric. And with that collapse, the frenzy only grew, because once the gesture was real, the intention became the battlefield. Jokes popped up, memes multiplied. Hashtags like #baby6 and #bellygate started trending in corners of the fandom. Suddenly, Robyn's body had been pulled into the center of yet another culture war. Was she complicit? Was she caught off guard? Were the Browns floating a test balloon, gauging reaction to a possible pregnancy storyline? Every angle was dissected, debated, replayed, until what began as a casual pose spun into a week-long circus that, insiders say, was the moment Kody snapped behind closed doors. He allegedly demanded the rumor be shut down, but silencing Sister Wives speculation. That's a battle no one ever wins, because the harder you push back, the louder the noise becomes. For Kody, it was a nightmare unraveling in real time. Picture it, phones lighting up across the family tree, kids, ex-wives, distant relatives all sending the same message. Is Robyn pregnant again? For a man who has built his identity on narrating the Brown family story, it was the ultimate humiliation. He wasn't leading the conversation. He wasn't holding the spotlight. A stranger's hand had hijacked his authority, and the internet was mocking him for being powerless to contain it. And this wasn't a quiet rage. Anyone who's watched his temper flare on screen could imagine it. The clipped sentences, The sharp tone, the chest-thumping insistence of "that's not how it is." Sources allege the anger spilled into late-night calls, private conversations, stern warnings to keep quiet about baby rumors, but ironically, that energy only poured gasoline on the fire. Fans know Cody's temper, and the image of him storming around Flagstaff, trying to smother a story born from one picture, played perfectly into the narrative of a patriarch unraveling. What stung even more, some say, was Robyn's silence. Instead of logging on with a breezy denial, "Nope, not pregnant. Just a bad angle," she let the only denial sit buried in that original festival post. To fans, it looked calculated, as if she were letting the rumor breathe just enough to keep her and Cody in the spotlight. Because Sister Wives has always thrived on these micro-dramas: the pauses, the body language, the silences that scream louder than words. For Cody, though, that silence may have felt like betrayal. He wanted a strong, united front. What he got was speculation about Robyn's complicity. And here's the bitter irony: the angrier Cody allegedly became, the more it validated the chatter. Fans joked that if there was really nothing there, he wouldn't be this unglued. Others drew comparisons to past meltdowns about money rumors, land disputes, or favoritism claims that always seemed to backfire, proving the gossip right in fans' eyes by trying to crush the speculation. He may have only confirmed that it hit him where it hurt. And so a single hand placement, one moment that should have vanished in hours, exploded into something much bigger. It became a symbol of everything Cody fears most: losing control, being ridiculed, and watching as his own audience writes the story without him. And no matter how much Cody tried to stamp it out, the photo itself kept dragging him back. Every detail, the angle, the setting, the faces in the frame refused to disappear, which brings us to the twist no one missed. This wasn't just any backdrop. The snapshot was taken at a Flagstaff beer festival, and that setting alone poured gasoline on the fire. It wasn't a cozy family barbecue or a Sunday afternoon at home. It was a public event, packed with strangers, music, and cameras everywhere. That fact turned the image from a private oddity into a public spectacle. Fans caught the irony immediately. Cody and Robyn, who so often hold the banner of family values and morality, spotted at a beer festival of all places, a place where messy, unguarded moments happen in plain view. And in that environment, the hand-on-belly gesture didn't read like a private joke or casual family touch. It looked, to many, like a public announcement, a statement made in front of a crowd. Whether that was true or not didn't matter. The optics had already written the script. According to breakdowns of the post, the carousel carried for pictures. 3 were harmless shots, crowds, music, friends smiling under festival lights. But the 4th, the Browns, and that single frame swallowed the rest whole. Some sources whispered that this contrast is what made Cody furious. If all 4 pictures had included his family, maybe it would have blended into the noise. But with just one cameo, their inclusion looked purposeful, almost as if that belly hand pose was the only reason they were in the post at all. And that's what stripped Cody of control. He wasn't telling the story anymore. The photo was. Longtime fans felt the deeper theme instantly. The Browns have always tried to craft a narrative of unity, presenting a polished family story. But time and again, it's the candid, off-script moments that tell the real tale. Parking lot spats, sharp glances in confessionals, awkward silences on camera. The beer festival shot fell right into that same pattern. Fans didn't just see a hand on a stomach. They saw proof of what they'd always suspected, that Cody and Robyn thrive on attention, and maybe even bend reality to stay relevant. The festival setting only tightened the trap. If the pose had happened around a family table, they could brush it off as playful or private. But here, in a crowded public space with phones everywhere, the excuse carried less weight. For critics, it suggested Robyn either didn't notice the optics or didn't care. And in the world of Sister Wives, not noticing is as damning as manipulating. Either way, the fans turn it into ammunition. That left the Browns cornered. Laugh it off and you risk looking dismissive, ignore it and you look calculating, fight back and you guarantee more headlines. So they chose silence. But silence in a storm like this doesn't calm anything, it amplifies it. Which begged the question fans couldn't stop asking: was the silence intentional? Were Cody and Robyn letting the rumor run wild just long enough to keep themselves trending? And if so, how steep would the cost be when the backlash finally flipped? Because silence can be powerful, but in this world, it can also be deadly. When the belly touch photo went viral, fans expected the usual rhythm: a playful denial, a cheeky little quip, maybe even a lighthearted post to wave it all away. Instead, nothing. Not a chuckle from Robyn, not a sharp word from Cody, not even a stray comment on social media. The only denial sat buried in that original festival post, flat and overlooked. And who was really reading captions when the photo screamed louder than text ever could? Almost no one, thousands of fans were too busy reposting, captioning, theorizing. The absence of clarity became its own story, and insiders whispered that maybe, just maybe, this wasn't an accident at all but a tactic, a way to let the rumor breathe just long enough to keep their names in headlines. Without openly admitting they'd stoked it, and for a while, the gamble worked, engagement soared. Memes flew, hashtags like baby number 6 and hashtags Bellygate trended across Reddit threads, fan groups, and Instagram accounts. Every furious comment kept their names pulsing through the algorithm. And in the harsh reality TV equation, any attention is currency. But silence has a price, and in this case, the price was trust. The longer they let the speculation simmer, the more fans began to see it as manipulation. If Robyn really wasn't pregnant, why not laugh it off? Why not make a lighthearted video, soda can in hand, joking? This is the only thing I'm carrying tonight. Instead, the quiet felt calculated, coy, as if the couple dangled the rumor just to test how far fans would chase it, and fans don't like feeling like pawns in someone else's game. Slowly, the conversation shifted. It wasn't just, is Robyn pregnant, anymore. It became, why are they letting us believe she might be? The tone soured, and what had started as playful speculation turned into pointed accusations. Critics argued the Browns were doing what TLC had done countless times before, dangling a half-truth, just long enough to hook the audience, knowing full well the reveal would never match the hype. Some insiders swore production had nothing to do with it this time, but that didn't matter. Cody and Robyn's silence mirrored the same playbook fans had grown tired of. Keep the buzz alive. Say nothing, let the mystery build. And in a franchise already scarred by broken promises and eroded trust, it was the worst move Cody could have made. The boomerang effect was brutal. Instead of showering congratulations, fans lashed back. The comments turned sharp, calling the couple manipulative, attention-hungry, even insensitive to women who struggle with infertility. What had once looked like a sweet moment now felt like another example of Robyn twisting perception to suit her narrative, and Cody? His fury only deepened, because the one rumor he'd wanted crushed had exploded into something bigger, something that made him look both enraged and powerless. But here's the thing about rumors, even when they're false, they leave behind seeds, and those seeds grow. Fans began asking the questions Cody feared most. If this pregnancy chatter was fake, what else have we been misled about? What other stories are being shaped behind the curtain? Suddenly, a hand on a stomach wasn't just a photo anymore. It was the spark for a storyline no one could contain. Because in the Sister Wives universe, a rumor doesn't die, it mutates into narrative. Whether the Browns want it or not, whether producers had a hand in it or not, fans are already writing the script. And baby number 6, born from nothing more than a misplaced hand at a beer festival, had the makings of an entire season arc. You can almost picture it. Confessional shots of Robyn tearfully addressing the hurtful speculation, Cody railing against invasion of privacy, Christine or Janelle tossing in a sly comment about being left in the dark. The show has always thrived on ripple effects like this, and whispers suggest that even without a pregnancy, the chatter itself is ratings gold. And here's the irony: be staying silent. Cody and Robyn may have handed TLC its next big hook without even realizing it. Imagine the teaser trailers, dramatic music, slow zooms on Robyn's face, a producer's voice off camera asking loaded questions, Cody storming out of a chair during a confessional. Fans know the rhythm well. Background gossip always finds its way to center stage, because it's too juicy to leave behind. Even if the storyline ends with Robyn flatly declaring, "I'm not pregnant," it won't matter. The build-up will have done its work. The audience will have tuned in, waiting for answers. But the danger goes deeper than viewership spikes. Leaning into this rumor risks reopening old wounds with the fanbase. They've seen these tricks before: trailers teasing life-changing announcements that turned into yet another fight about Coyote Pass. Another recycled monologue about favoritism. The pregnancy buzz fits that formula too perfectly. And fans, weary from years of hype balloons that popped into nothing, might not forgive another fake-out. Yet even if production stays hands-off, the damage is already baked in. The rumor has changed how viewers look at the Browns from here on out. Every move Robyn makes will be filtered through that lens. If she skips a public outing, whispers will follow she's hiding a bump. If she wears a flowy dress, speculation will spike. If she avoids Instagram, silence will be treated like proof.